Hello there, in this tutorial I'm going to show how to assign multiple scope at DHCP server. So at before we already learned about scopes, creating scopes at DHCP, but can we create multiple scopes? Well, yes. For example, if your DHCP having two NIC, one is for sales and that network is connected to some switch and some clients is connected to that, and the desired network is the desired sales network wants the IP address 1010 to 1020. So whenever any sales employee tries to connect with the sales network, it will get the 10th network only. At the same time, account users also get the IP address of 2010 and 2020. So whenever an employee of account user tries to uh, get the IP address, it will get the IP address of set 20s. So sales will be divided, account will be divided, and such thing implement in the big numbers where 2 and 3 kind of different scopes is required, and actually we would think that, and we actually disable the uh, routing thing. That's the reason why these networks always have a different IP address, so that these client will not able to communicate with each other, and if we enable routing, then only it can able to communicate with each other. So how to make a multiple scope, that's the thing, and it's possible at DHCP server. So uh, this is what these thing is there. Just maximum minimize that, and let the tries to work out how to create the uh, multiple IP, a multiple scope, and the scope will be providing us multiple IP address. So for example, uh, IPv4, okay, new scope, and next, okay, name of the scope, for example sales, and start IP address I want to give 1010 to 1020 and IP address. So next, and same the if you wants to add exclusion, list duration, any update you want. Yes, I want to configure this option, so you can configure the router default gateway, so I'm giving a gateway of 10.1. Next, parent domain, since it's a domain server too, so you can give a parent domain to techengineer.tv, which is my domain's name. Server name, which is tech server domain, and resolve it so that okay, it resolve wrong IP address to 10.1. Next, okay. So when server is there, or I can activate the scope as it is right now. So I just activated the scope, and the scope didn't have any list. So let's go to client computer, Vista is there, and let's try to get the IP address. So currently static, I'm just needs to get the dynamic IP address, and it's now identifying. So we must get the IP address now. Okay, so identifying, yes, we got it. Status details includes 10 before it was having 10.3, 10.4, but now we are getting IP address to series 10. Now another scope we need to require to create to prove whether a DHCP server can have a multiple scope or not. So before I will show that, yes, you need require two NIC to conclude multiple scopes. This is what the IP address of one of the NIC, and this is another. DNS is gateway. DNS is loopback adapter, and gateway is the same one. The same 20s one will be implemented in the client. So next scope we counts. Next, start IP address retains 20s 10, and IP address will be 20s 20. So subnet mask next. Okay, we don't want exclusions. Least duration will be same. Now I will configure this option later and finish. Okay, since it's a very limited thing, 20s never is very limited. That's the reason I didn't configure more. So I just need to activate the scope first. So just right click, activate, and now it's activated. So what I need to do here is it goes to my client computer, which is 7 computer. This goes to adapt settings, right click, properties. I just need to obtain the IP address and it's identifying. We are identified network details, and you can see 20 is 10, 255.0, DHCP server is 21, and DNS is because that NIC 21 NIC have the loopback thing. That's the reason the DNS took this is the public DNS of my domain. That's the reason it took that public domain. Otherwise, if you put that DNS, mention the DNS, just 20's address with the DNS, so it could be took that DNS. So now you can ping that 20's one, which is the DHCP server in this case, and you can see the pinging. It's a DHCP server, so that's the reason. 192.168 is the DNS, so it can ping if router is enabled. Now, this is DNS, which is the actual private IP address of the domain. So this is proof that you can create multiple scope, and more multiple scopes can be created through